How y'all doing this morning, troops? Coastal Old Crow back again with another one of the Tactical Perspective toy reviews on the G.I. Joe Classified series. It's the 6-inch toy line by Hasbro. That is just a huge mental trap for me, as I was a massive fan and collector of the original, well, I won't say the original, but the 80s toy line when I was a little kid. So this week I managed to get surprised and caught off guard at one of the stores. I was just having a look to see if they were having any sales on any of the existing classified products that they were carrying for the last couple of months. Maybe try to pick up another bat or something. And I was surprised because a new release came out earlier than I expected up here in Canada, in Ottawa. And today we are going to be doing number 85 in the series, the Crimson Viper, part of what I am going to attempt to do as part of a Crimson Wave series. And I'll explain what that's going to be about as I go on. So here we have him, guys. He just came out here the other day. I'm not sure when he hit store shelves, but I think it was last night out here. And we've got our nice digital render of the Crimson Viper. And you can see that it's the exact same Viper we are used to from the other sets. But this time in the Crimson Red. So why am I going after a Crimson Wave? Because, guys, talk about army building for a second. I was late to the game coming to the G.I. Joe Classified scene. I only started this year. And I missed out on getting things like the Cobra Troopers and the Cobra Officer. I can still get them, but they're not exactly the most achievable items. They're not on a big box shelf somewhere nearby. They are orders, and through Amazon, sometimes they are a struggle order. For example, where I'm looking at an Amazon right now for a standard Cobra Trooper, it's in around $70 to $80 for just one, and they are hard to get. You go anywhere, you can see that guys are doing army building, and they are buying them up like hotcakes. And then the Cobra Officer, if you're following, is $45, and that's a bit more available. But I mean, like, do you build an army full of officers? Where's your troops? You need more troops than you need officers, in my mind. Based on my experience in the military, that's how it works usually. So can you build an army at 45 and then 75, 75, 75, 75? Sure, but it's bloody expensive. So now we're looking at what is available. What can you build your army out of? Well, guys, this box set for the Vipers is still out there. Okay, and that in Canada retails at about $130-ish, let's call it, right? So you can build your Viper army, no problems out here. But what else has been coming has been the winter-themed Cobra Troopers, so the Snow Serpents and the Arctic Bats. So you can start an Arctic-themed Cobra army, no problem. But you still have a lot of access to the Crimson Guard right now. They've been out for a little while, but they have come out back again on the retro card if you can get your hands on that. And a lot of the big box stores can still order your standard Crimson Guard Trooper at the base price of around, well, like I say, in Canada, $35. So then you got your Cobra Trooper, so you got your Cobra Crimson Guard, you get your Cobra Bat, which is new released and still readily available at the same price point, the 35-ish, right? So there's two Crimson assets. We know that the Crimson Alley Viper is coming, so there's going to be another one. And then, of course, this Crimson Viper, which got released early. So you have a lot of access to the Crimson Wave, and with the new Tomax Amont and Baroness Crimson Strike Force command team, that's exactly, I think, what Hasbro is trying to give you access to, is to build up your Crimson army. So what do we know about the Crimson Guard? They're the best of the best, the best of the best of the best. And these ones, if they're Crimson Vipers, that means that they are not only the best of the Vipers, but they're also the greediest and the most money hungry, driven by greed. And that's why they fell under the Crimson Strike team, because that is a very greed driven organization. And that puts them even at odds. They have stood up against, and in contrast to, Cobra Commander himself and his forces. So when you're building a Crimson army, you're building a separate army. It's not just Cobra. It's Cobra plus cash. So anyways, let's talk about the figure some more. Number 85, and then I've already gone over everything you see on the front, and then you've got your little diagram there and the digital render of what you're going to get with this, which is no change to what we got with the other Vipers, which was the goggles, backpack, sidearm, sci-fi looking weird blaster rifle, which is just a Viper rifle. And then the scarf, I think I failed to mention that, right? So everything else is pretty much just repainted, as we noticed. On the side there, you get that blow-up art. He is number 85 in the series. Pardon me if I didn't hold that up closer to the camera. And then the back, you get another digital render, and you can see those primary combat functions down at the bottom that you can look up on Hasbro.com. And you get another look at what all is in there. And guys, this is an unboxing, which I'm not known to do usually. So when I do the unboxings, I tend to discover new things. And today I'm going to be wondering if maybe the mag is permanently fixed or not. I'm just going to have a look at my camera here because it seems to be having a bit of an issue. Let's go there. All right. I hope I didn't lose anybody on that. We'll just get that back on its mount. So I'm going to unbox this for us right here and now after I finish going over what all's in there. There we go. Oops. Apologies, guys. It's a one take. What are you going to do? And so top, no issues. It's always the same. Same on the top. Legal gobbledygook on the back, and then you got your QR code and the PCFs. Again, go on Hasbro.com. They'll tell you what all that's about, and the art render. Let's open her up. That's enough about the box. So we got our trusty little blade there. Yep. And let's go. You pull them out, and there you have them. You got your Crimson Guard figure in his... So there is something different here. When we say, I can't say this is plastic-free packaging anymore, guys. And here's why. They changed how they retain these. Originally, it was all strings, if you remember. Well, now they've switched to these little plastic detention straps that I now have to cut with my trusty scissors. So I don't think Hasbro gets to claim plastic-free packaging in this anymore. What a... See, I told you, when we open stuff, we discover stuff, little things to talk about. What a minor and trivial little thing. But again, Hasbro was priding themselves on calling it plastic-free packaging for a while there, and now they can't. Blah, blah, blah. All right, so we got them out, and then there's the box. You know, if you collect the background box art, that is going to be a nice addition to what you're collecting. That's good. Let's put that off to the side. And we'll put the figure off to the side for just a moment while we get into the second box that is incorporated there, your Pelican case, which tells us it is the Crimson Viper, and it's got that logo on there, and it is number 85. So let's open that up, and we'll have a look at the little package there. We'll get rid of the box, move that off to the side. Do we do the tear or the cut? I find the cut a little bit more gratifying. For some reason, I like to keep these stupid little bags in the box once they're emptied. Don't ask. I can't answer why. All right, and then we're going to spill out the contents. And what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to put everything onto the figure, and then I'll turn the figure over to Cobra Island, where I got a couple things set up, and we'll do our head-to-toe inspection, give them the play grade and the tactical grade, and move on with the day. So let's put that off there. All right, so you got your rifle. Let's not lose anything. Rifle. Oh, and there it is, guys. The mag does detach. And this is molded in gray, not black. So there's going to be a difference between your Vipers and how they're kitted out. Speaking of the gray, we've got the gray backpack, but it's we'll have to see whether that compares well to the officer backpack from the Viper setup, which I think is also molded with some gray to it. So we'll have a look at that when we do our head to toe. We got our gray pistol. It's a standard Viper pistol with that laser scope sight, I think. I think that's what they're representing there. And then, now you've got your blue Viper scarf, okay? This one for the Crimson, they use the blue scarf. And then if you look at the old Viper set, it is the gray scarf on there. So there's a slight change. And then he's got his standard Viper goggles, which are going to go fitting on over his head. So I'll put all that on there. We'll put the goggles on there. There you go. We'll put that nice little kerchief on there. These open up at the back, as you can see, and then slide that on there. How you looking? You looking vipery? Your goggles go flying. Yeah, you're looking vipery. Actually, I like the color contrast on this one already, guys. I knew, I was like, you know what? You got two Vipers that are blue, one that is gray, and now you're gonna have one that is red. There is no consistency here, but then I remind myself that I do intend on collecting the crimson stuff. So I'll get more of these for sure, I think, with the bat and the other crimson guard. All right, so you see me struggling with that peg issue that I talked about before in other videos. I gotta line that vest up, and it's pretty stiff. I'm not gonna lie. Coming out of the box on this one, that peg wasn't lined up. It's still not lined up. It's gonna be difficult, I think, to get that one lined up today, but we should be able to get her. And we got her. No, we don't. It sprung back out. All right, so posting peg issues. You look at that gap, guys. Like, I wish we could get a bigger hole in the back just for the second layer so we could manipulate this a little bit easier. See, I've got all my thumb pressure pushing down on that, and I'm putting pressure on the head, actually, which I didn't want to do. But there, I got the backpack on, but it's a bit of an effort, so I don't like that. I'm going to make that cost it on the playability grade. And I also I'm not a big fan of the weapon because of how hard it is to manipulate handles like that through hands like that. It's not always fun. So a lot of the times when I'm using my Vipers, you know, I'll work it and then I'll never take it out of their hands again. And for him, I'm going to work that into his hand another time outside the video. We'll put him on a stand. Let's do that. Let's see if the, so there's your holes in the bottom, and these universal stands I pick up at stores like GameStop, and it works out to about $3 a stand, but sometimes it's worthwhile, especially when you want to have an initial look at the figure on a review show like this one, guys. So got him on his stand. Let's move him over to Cobra Island and have a look. Okay, so here we go. And there goes my keys. There we go. So we've got him standing next to the other Cobra Vipers that I had, that I was making mention to earlier in the discussion about this. So head to toe, let's talk about whether there's any changes to that head. I see no changes to that helmet or head design. You've got your standard Viper mask, just a different color this time, and that's about all you're going to get with it. There's my pointer. And then you can see that these goggles are the same that came with the original, right? Everything is virtually the same, guys. It's all the same stuff. So to go over every detail would be redundant. Watch the old video on these two, and you'll get the exact same discussion on this. But let's give you a nice good 360 view, and let's talk about some potential, and let's appreciate them. Sorry, these stands were effective up till about, you know, the time where my hand showed up. There it is. So this is what you're getting with your Crimson Viper. Okay, guys? And we'll turn this back to there. Let's have a look at that backpack and see if that matches the officers. Nope. Nope, it doesn't really match anyone's. So you, again, a complete repaint, complete new color scheme going on there. And absolutely, I like it for the Vipers, and I like it for Crimson Viper. But let's not look at my garbage can. We don't need to do that. But at the same time, I mean, there's just nothing different to discuss, guys. So I'm not going to spend the whole video going into all the things I probably covered before in other videos. I'll just get right into his potential. So one of the things about the potential that I was talking about building a Cobra army, it started with the fact that I'm sitting on 2 Cobra coils. And he looks okay next to a coil. It's not the same shade of red. But I mean, it looks like if I had 2 of these and I put them next to the coils, like that was meant for them to be,
you know, a patrol together. So that looks good. Putting them with a bunch of Crimson Guard, you already know what that's going to look like, because any of the photography that Hasbro has out there for anything Crimson will show you pics like that. So you already know what all that looks like. But as far as an achievable army builder goes, guys, your Crimson Viper is a very achievable Viper in that, you know, this set is still very available if you wanted the 3 packs of those. And you could build up a Viper force that features a few of these. But if you are just buying a bunch of the other army builder options, like the Crimson Guard, Crimson Bat, and eventually the Crimson Alley Viper, with the new Tomax Amont and Baroness set that's coming out, you can get a jump start on building up your army, your Cobra Crimson Strike team pretty good right now. So that's about all I was going to talk about with this one on the potential aspect of it and the head-to-toe inspection. Again, I'm not going to repeat that. I did that in another video. I'm just going to get right into the grading here, guys. On a playability grade, I'm going to give this a B. And the reason it's a B and not whatever, I think I gave the originals an A+. It's because, one, unlike the Viper pack, he doesn't come with any of the blast accessories like that came with the Viper pack. The Viper pack originally comes, and this was part of the appeal of it, with all these blast accessories included in it. So you don't get any of that with the Crimson Viper, which I would have appreciated 1 or 2 of those, but I get it. They're extra plastic. You have to put an extra cost to that, and it's fine. It's just costing a bit of a playability grade. That's all. The other thing I kind of wish they would have kind of given us a new weapon, or at least repeat a different option from their previously established list. So give us that gun, or that gun, in addition to this honky sci-fi gun. That to me would have been better for playability with this, to have a second rifle included as an option, because now you've got a squad of these guns, and any special weapons Crimson Guard trooper is going to be borrowing against the arsenal of another classified series Cobra weapon, right? Like, it's just not going to be organic from the box set. No matter how many of these you buy, you're never getting anything else but those 2 guns. You have to borrow. Okay, so that's, I think, something I'm going to let it cost it on the playability. So that brings the playability down to a B. Tactical, really no change from anything I had talked about before. It's not, you know, everything on there is functional. I'd still love to know what this is. He's got grenades. He's got mags. He's got a backup sidearm. He's got some body armor. Tactically, he's a sound character, and I kind of like the Vipers for the amount of body armor that they provide them. Considering the Crimson Viper in the file card that I read online about it, is like, there's such good hand-to-hand specialists and fighters that even having weapons and armor is kind of not necessary for them, but they have it, right? Like, but they're lethal without that stuff, apparently. So for the tactical side, I'm just going out with the straight A. Again, I wish there was a second rifle other than this one, but it's not going to, it's already costing on the play grade, so I won't let it cost on the tactical grade. But on the potential grade, that's a new grade I just made up just now. This thing's hitting A+ all around, because right now is the time for you to start a Crimson Strike Team army build. And this is a good submission for them to have come out early with. So you can get a jump on that. So, all right, guys, that's it for today. An unexpected unboxing version of a tactical perspective toy review. So if you guys like this video, please press like. If you really liked it, do me the honor of subscribing, and I'll talk to you on another episode, okay? Until then, I've been the Crusty Old Crow, and knowing is half the battle. Yo, Joe.